at AKA GK Fraley. You guys like that, or is it just something that I could cut out?
Okay, we're headed for Beatrice. I have a mammogram appointment today. Now, if you are of a certain age, or if you're young and have a family history, you need to have these mammograms regularly, annually. Hello. Looky what we're getting. We're getting rain. Yes, the land does need it. We do need it. Joe pointed that out. I just don't like to be out in the rain. Didn't used to mind it so much, but my lungs don't like it. So, but I won't be out. I won't be actually in the rain. I'll be under a eave or whatever. So it's the breathing of the moisture that gets to me, but I won't be there long. I'll be inside in a quick minute. So,
Yes, today I went and got a mammogram. And this is my annual. I did have my breast cancer. I just spit a piece of rice cracker. Back in 2008, I believe it was, found, and if it wasn't for a mammogram, because there was some stuff going around that they didn't think mammograms were really all that useful, that people generally found them with, like breast exam or whatever. The fact of the matter is that's not exactly true, and especially not always. Because the lump they found was so small, I would never have found it. It was non-palpable. It was only found on mammogram. And it was so small, and it was in a spot where they did not expect to find cancer, because it's very seldom that they ever find cancer in the duct. Anyway, okay, when they found the little dinky pea-sized lump, if it was even that big, in my left breast, the doctor that reads the radiographers, whatever, anyway, there was one there that day that could go in and actually do the biopsy. And since he was there, he said, well, let's just get this over with. We know it's going to be benign. It's because of where it's at. Those are almost never lung cancer, because it was in kind of a area of the breast where I think it was like in a duct or something that, anyway. But guess what it was? It was cancer. The needle biopsy showed cancer. So anyway, then I did have to have a partial mastectomy. Now that was my choice. I could have had a total, or I could do partial. I chose partial. Some people were saying, oh, you really need to do total. You really need to do total. This was so tiny. So stinking tiny. And they took, taking half of my breast took plenty off of there, as well as they took out most of my lymph nodes, and I guess a lot of my sweat glands went with it, because I don't really have to worry about it. Anyway, I was talking to the radiologist, or not the radiologist, the radiology technician, and the one who does the mammograms. And I asked her, I said, do you get men? Have you ever done a mammography in a man? Oh, yeah, several. And I said, how do they generally find a lump or know that there's something that they need to check? She said, oh, usually they just find it in the shower or something. They notice the lump. And she said, a lot of men have gynecomastia. Gynecomastia is not the only thing, but because men can get breast cancer, there's always that little bit of tissue that covers that. But gynecomastia definitely gives them that extra chance. The thing of it is, you can develop cancer anywhere in the body. I mean, you can. There's places where it's less likely because they just haven't seen it as much, but doesn't mean it can't be. I mean, I proved that. But, well, I don't know as I proved it. They probably had it several times. It's just not very often. It's just very rare that they had found it there. So that's the deal. You've got to realize you can find, doesn't matter if you're male or female. Okay, there's certain things that do change. Men cannot have uterine cancer, but they can have testicular cancer. So you do need to get those things all checked out. So, and believe me, the exams are embarrassing both ways. Men haven't had to put up with it as long. Come on, guys. You just haven't had to put up with it as long, but getting a pap smear and a pelvic exam isn't pleasant either. So get over it and go get tested. No, I mean that really. I know I'm making it sound funny, but it's true. It's true. And you don't, I mean, most of the time a lot of men wait till they're, 50. Most of the time women wait till they're 40 to 50 to start getting mammogram. A lot of times that's what insurance will start paying for. But there's a lot of cases where women have had breast cancer younger and even died from it. I had a sister-in-law. We lost to breast cancer. And she was fairly young, and they had three very young children. 2 of them just baby. So don't count it out. Check yourself. That's one of the most important things, is to check yourself. And you do that with your fingers. Am I going to demonstrate? Not on your life. Anyway, we shall discuss more later. I will discuss a little bit about my experience of going through it. And then maybe I think I'll come up with some questions for you to answer, or just you can talk about your experience. The more we're able to be open and talk about our experience, yes, it's personal. Those are very personal parts of our body. But if we're able to get out there and talk about the experience and let people know how important it is, then the more people are reached. And by golly, if they can go and they can advertise extends and all of that dang crap, pardon my lingo, on TV during primetime hours, then I'm not going to be afraid to talk about our cervix, our uterus, our ovaries, or our breasts, or your testicles, or your penis, because all of it can get cancer, as well as your prostate. Not prostrate. Prostate. Not prostate either. Prostate. So if anybody takes offense to this video and the fact that I am using such terms, look them up in the medical dictionary. And it is very, very important. Just because they're uncomfortable to discuss or uncomfortable to touch on yourself does not mean it isn't important. It is important. So, and talking to your doctor, hey, they want you to. They want you to talk to them. If you're a woman more comfortable with a female doctor, then go to a female doctor if you can possibly do so. It's not always possible in rural areas, but once they become available. Anyway, just a heads up. And I will be back. Okay, everybody. I do need to get this done so that I can get it up because I haven't got one up today. But it is so important. And I would encourage, I don't want anybody telling anything they're not supposed to tell. Because families can be very, very, it's their story. We'll put it that way. It's their story to tell. But if you can discuss a situation, or you are aware of a situation where it has proven either deadly or one where maybe a man has had such cancer and it's now able to be talked about, don't go discussing someone else's problems unless you have their permission, because it just isn't cool. It's just not cool. That's why we have privacy, and we're not medical professionals, but we are human. So I am going to cut it there, and I am going to say I hope we all have good days as well as bad days, and tomorrow is another day. I do love you. I do care about you. I wouldn't do these otherwise. So, hasta mañana.